Laudetur Jesus Christus, and welcome to Vatican Radio's live-streamed broadcast of Pope Francis' Sunday Angelus. Whether you're joining us through the various Vatican media channels, the Vatican audio or radio app, the Vatican News web portal, or our Vatican News YouTube channel, or via one of our partner stations, including EWTN TV, Catholic Faith Network in America, Salt and Light TV, Radio Maria England, Shalom World TV, Ahmed Arshan TV, Catholic TV, Luminous Radio India, or Radio Papua New Guinea. A very warm welcome, one and all. My name is Christopher Wells. I'll be providing the English language commentary for today's Angelus. It is a beautiful sunny fall day here in Rome, with the weather finally having cooled off a little bit, and thousands of people gathered in St. Peter's Square to see our Holy Father. Pope Francis has, of course, been away from Rome for the past couple of weeks for the longest overseas visit of his pontificate. The Holy Father spent almost 2 full weeks traveling to Asia and Oceania, with stops in Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, Timor-Leste, and Singapore. The Holy Father returned here to Rome on Friday, and as usual stopped to pray at the Basilica of St. Mary Major, where he thanked God for his safe travels and for all of the graces that were experienced during his visit, and of course prayed for all of the places where he stopped. We'll now have a little break before his next apostolic journey. He'll be headed to Belgium and Luxembourg later this month, and of course in October the Holy Father will lead us in the General Assembly of the Synod on Synodality. And as the noon hour approaches, the curtains are drawn back at the window of the Apostolic Palace, and a warm round of applause as Pope Francis appears.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, buona domenica. Il Vangelo della liturgia odierna ci racconta che Gesù, dopo aver chiesto ai discepoli cosa pensava la gente di lui, domanda direttamente a loro: ma voi chi dite che io sia? Pietro risponde a nome di tutto il gruppo dicendo: tu sei il Cristo, cioè tu sei il Messia. Tuttavia, quando Gesù comincia a parlare della sofferenza e della morte che lo aspettano, lo stesso Pietro si oppone. E Gesù lo rimprovera duramente. Va dietro a me, Satana, gli dice Satana, perché tu non pensi secondo Dio.
For you are not on the side of God, but of men. Looking at the attitude of the Apostle Peter, we too can ask ourselves, what does it mean to truly know Jesus? What does it mean to truly know Jesus? In fact, on the one hand, Peter answers perfectly, saying of Jesus that he is the Christ. However, behind these correct words, there is still a way of thinking that is of men, a mentality that imagines a strong or victorious Messiah who cannot suffer and die. So the words with which Peter responds are correct. They're correct, but his way of thinking has not changed. He still has to change his mindset. He still has to convert. And this is an important message for us too. Indeed, we too have learned something about God. We know the doctrine. We recite the prayers in the correct way. And perhaps we respond well to the question, who is Jesus for you? With some formula we learned at catechism. But are we sure that this means really knowing Jesus? In reality, to know the Lord, it's not enough to know something about him. But rather it's necessary to follow him, to allow oneself to be touched and changed by his gospel. It's a matter of having a relationship with him, an encounter. You can know so many things about Jesus, but if you haven't encountered him, you don't know who Jesus is. It involves a change of your life, a change of your way of being, and changes your way of thinking, the relationships you have with your brothers and sisters, your willingness to accept and forgive, the choices you make in your life. Everything changes if you have truly come to know Jesus. Everything changes. Brothers and sisters, the Lutheran theologian and pastor Bonhoeffer, a victim of Nazism, wrote, "What is bothering me incessantly is the question of what Christianity really is, or indeed who Christ really is for us today." Unfortunately, many people no longer pose themselves this question, and they remained unbothered, even far from God. It's important instead to ask ourselves, do I allow myself to be bothered? Do I ask who Jesus is for me and what place he occupies in my life? On this, may Mary, most holy, who allowed Jesus to overturn her plans and follow Jesus to the cross, help us in this.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ecce ancilla Domini.
Fiat mi secundum verbum tuum.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Per verbum caro factum est.
Et habitavit in nobis.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tui mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ora pro nobis, Santa Dei Gentris.
Ut in igni efficiamur promissionibus Christi.
Gratiam Tuam, quae sumus Domine, mentibus nostris infunde, ut che angelo annunziante, Christi Fili Tui, incarnazione coniobim, per passionem eius et crucem, a resurrectione gloriam perducamo, per Christum Dominum nostrum.
Amen.
Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto.
Sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper, et in saecula saeculorum. Amen.
Pro fidelibus defuntis, requiem aeternam dona eis Domine.
Et lux perpetua luceat eis.
Requiescant in pace.
Amen.
Sit nomen Domini benedictum.
Ex hoc nunc et usque in saeculum.
Aiutorium nostrum in nomine Domini.
Qui fecit caelum et terram.
Benedica Dio Onnipotente, Padre, Figlio e Spirito Santo. Amen.
Amen.
And the Holy Father's blessing going out not only to those present, but to all of those listening live to this broadcast.
Cari fratelli e sorelle,
Dear brothers and sisters,
esprimo la mia vicinanza alle popolazioni del Vietnam e del Myanmar
and
che
he
soffrono a causa
expresses
delle
his
inondazioni
closeness to
provocate
the people
da
of
un
Vietnam
violento
and
tifone.
Myanmar who are suffering from
Prego per i
floods,
defunti, per i feriti, gli sfogliati.
and
Dio
prays for those
sostenga
affected by the
quanti
natural
hanno perso i
disasters,
loro cari e la loro casa. E benedica quanti stanno portando aiuto.
and he blesses those who are
Ieri a
bringing them
Città del
help.
Messico è stato beatificato
Also recalling the beatification yesterday
fondatore della Congregazione delle Missionarie della Carità di Maria Immacolata, morto nel
in
1950.
Mexico City.
Dopo una vita spesa ad aiutare le persone a progredire nella fede e nell'amore del Signore, il suo zelo apostolico stimoli i sacerdoti a donarsi senza riserve per il bene spirituale del popolo santo di Dio. Un applauso al nuovo beato.
Of Blessed Moises Lira Serafin, who died in 1950, and greets the Mexicans who are here present. In Italia today, today in Italy is the National Day for those suffering from multiple sclerosis, and he prays for them, of course.
E non dimentichiamo le guerre.
And he invites us not to forget the wars that bloody this world. Thinking of Ukraine, Myanmar, the ongoing wars in the Middle East. How many innocent victims there are. I think of the mothers who have lost their children to war. How many young people's lives have been cut short.
Trovato morto a inizio settembre insieme ad altri 5 ostaggi a Gaza. Nel novembre dell'anno scorso avevo incontrato la madre, Rachel, che mi ha colpito per la sua umanità. L'accompagno in questo momento. Prego per le vittime e continuo ad essere vicino a tutte le famiglie delle ostaggi.
And prays for the families of the hostages in Gaza, the conflict in Palestine and Israel, calling for an end to the violence and the hatred, the release of the hostages, and the continuation of negotiations so that solutions of peace might be found.
Saluto tutti voi romani, pellegrini d'Italia e tanti paesi.
And finishes with greetings to the Romans, Italians, and visitors who have come to Rome to be with the Holy Father for the year, who are here with the Holy Father at the Angelus, including a number of different groups.
E i partecipanti alla staffetta a piedi da Roma ad Assisi. Auguro e saluto i ragazzi dell'Immacolata che hanno avuto 3 ordenazioni in questi giorni. Complimenti.
And a group that has had several ordinations. And to all a happy Sunday, and please don't forget to pray for me. Enjoy your lunch, and we'll see you again soon. Buon pranzo and arrivederci. The greetings of our Holy Father, Pope Francis, as he concludes his Angelus address and prayer and greetings for this morning, Sunday, September 15th, 2024. And with the Holy Father's salutations, our live broadcast is drawing to a close. On behalf of Vatican Radio, I would like to thank our partners who help to make these live broadcasts available throughout the world, especially EWTN TV, Catholic Faith Network in America, Salt and Light TV, Radio Maria England, Shalom World TV, Atma Darshan TV, Catholic TV, Luminous Radio India, and Radio Maria Papua New Guinea. Thanks to our producers and technicians here in the studio, and thanks to all of you for joining us this morning. For full coverage of the Pope's Sunday Angelus, along with other Vatican and world news, we invite you to visit our Vatican News web portal at www.vaticannews.va, as well as our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube accounts. My name is Christopher Wells. It's been a great pleasure and an honor to provide the English language translation and commentary for today's Angelus. Praise be Jesus Christ. Laudetur Jesus Christus.